guys, it's Pastor Jonathan, and we're continuing on our leadership lesson series, Leadership on the Go, going through John Maxwell's 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. And today we're looking at law number 6, the law of solid ground. Hey, if you haven't taken a moment, click on the link above me, download the PDF form, the notes for this short lesson series, and you'll get the most out of this 5 to 6 minutes together. Go ahead, we'll take a moment, we'll wait for you. All right, let's go. Law number 6, the law of solid ground, says trust is the foundation of leadership. Trust is the glue that holds an organization and its leadership together. And as leaders, we want to be able to trust those that we're following. And we're all following someone. And so who is it that we're following as a church? Who is it that we're following as maybe a business? Whatever it is, that we want to have trust in the direction that they're taking us. And the same thing is true with those who are following us. They want to know that they can trust us not only as a person and as an individual, but in the direction in which we're leading them as a team, ministry team, whatever the case may be. If you look at the fill in the blanks there, it says to build trust, you must demonstrate consistent character and consistent competence. Let me repeat that. To build trust, you must demonstrate consistent character and consistent competence. It's not enough to just simply have character, because character is vitally important and people will follow you for a while. But you have to demonstrate some competence in your area of leadership. There's some great men and women of character who are not great leaders, and it's simply because they don't have this consistent competence about their leadership style. They don't know how to get the job done. They're great on the team, but they may not be the one who should be in charge of leading the team. And as leaders, if you've been placed in a leadership position as God has directed and you found yourself leading, then we need to work on not only our character as an individual and as a leader, but also our competence in getting the job done when the job needs to be done. It says many leaders live off the goodwill of people instead of good leadership. If you're a person of character, then people are going to like you. But oftentimes we'll live off of that goodwill of them instead of living off of good leadership. And it's nothing wrong with having the goodwill of the people, but we need to instill some of these leadership principles to make sure that we're leading well. Secondly, it takes change in your pocket to make changes in your organization. You've heard that said before. If you try to do something without having trust of the people, if you try to do something and you have a history of not getting the job done, of not following through with your commitments, and then when you go to ask for that next big thing, for that next big step of leadership, you'll be surprised when no one's following you. And the reason is because you've spent the change in your pocket. As a leader, you instantly get a little bit of change just because of your title. And maybe you have a leadership title of ministry coordinator or team leader or deacon or elder. Whatever the case may be, just because you got that title, you got a little bit of change with that. But if we don't consistently demonstrate character and competence in that position, that change is quickly spent. So the question to ask is, how do I get more change in my pocket? What do I need to do to make sure that when I ask, when I direct, that people are willing to follow? And the things are there right there, to have consistent character and consistent competence over and over again. It doesn't mean that we have to be perfect, and I want to make that point clear. In your character, you're going to have times where you fall. You're going to have times where you mess up, where you hurt someone's feelings, where you make the wrong call in a meeting. And to be that consistent person of character, your team doesn't need to see perfection. What they need to see is someone who's willing to say, "I'm sorry, will you please forgive me?" and who's the first one to bring that flaw to light. Incompetence is the same thing is true. It doesn't mean you're going to be perfect in everything that you set out in. It doesn't mean that you're going to be successful in every venture that you step into. But the thing that we need to understand is that we need to have a greater history of successes than we do of failures. There's nothing wrong with failures. We learn from them. We fail forward, as John Maxwell says. But we need to, as a leader, begin to develop that consistent competence throughout our leadership style. Proverbs 16:12 says, "Good leaders abhor wrongdoings of all kinds. Sound leadership has a moral foundation." A leader cannot continue to break trust with people and continue to influence them. If you look at your questions there, the question number 1 says, do I have change in my pocket? Where are you at? Be honest with yourself. Do you have change with your pocket with those that you're leading? Secondly, is my change increasing or decreasing? Are you having the success that is adding more change to it? Are you having failure after failure? Your character is at question at all times, and you're spending that change very, very rapidly. And thirdly, do I pass the integrity test? You say, what is the integrity test? Well, if you're in leadership, with integrity, the longer I lead, the better it gets. Without integrity, the longer I lead, the worse it becomes. It's an honest fact, honest statement of looking at your leadership and saying, okay, I've been here so many months, so many weeks, so many years. Is it getting better or is it getting worse? If it's getting worse, then maybe I'm not leading with the integrity that I need to be leading. If it's getting better, then I must be doing something right. And we continue to just call upon God and ask Him for the wisdom to give us direction. Hey, that's it for this lesson, the law of solid ground. I hope it's been of use to you. Come back next week as we look forward to lesson number 7. As always, we're praying for you. Please continue to pray for your team, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.